Are you the CEO of your own life? Are you doing the job of your dreams or the role of your dreams? Are you around the people that you love being around? Are you living the life that you truly want to live? In this video, I'm going to be exploring these questions. And if the answer is no to any of them, I'm going to be helping you understand how you can make positive changes to become the CEO of your life. What do I mean by becoming the CEO of your life or being the CEO of your life? That does not mean you can control absolutely everything that is going on around you. What I mean by being the CEO of your own life is taking responsibility for where your life is heading and making intentional decisions rather than emotional ones. Being the CEO of your own life is something that's stuck in my head ever since I heard it many years ago. Taking responsibility for my own life is very important for me. Being around the people that understand me and get me and support me, and in turn I can help and support them, is very important. Being in a job where I feel empowered and trusted to make decisions doesn't mean we always get them right, but having that empowerment and trust is very important to me. As I've mentioned before about the nail, anytime that I feel I am sat on that nail, I will make decisions and choices to change that situation so I'm no longer sat on the nail. And this is what I want to talk to you about today: how you can identify when you're sat on the nail, what you can do about it, what situations may put you there, and how you can actually become the CEO of your own life just by making these slight changes. Let's use the example of a job then. Have you ever been in a job where you feel that you are undervalued, where you feel that you have no control over any part of that position that you're in, where you think other people are making decisions for you and they're not always for the better, where you feel anxious to go into that job, where you're anxious to talk to people, you feel like you can't have your own voice because it's just quashed? This is just an example of taking responsibility for your own life. Have you set boundaries in that job? Now, that's a big question. So where does a nail come in then? I heard the story about the nail not long back, and it's, if you haven't heard of it, it's where the man keeps walking past the house and they've got the big porch on the front, and every day that he walks past he can hear this dog sort of moaning and whinging, making crying noises. And one day he must have walked past about 6-7 days before he actually spoke to somebody and said, "What is wrong with your dog?" And he said, "Oh, he's sat on a nail." And he said, "Why doesn't he get off the nail?" And he said, "Because it doesn't hurt him enough yet." After learning this, I look back at my past and I realise I do actually sit on the nail a lot longer than other people would before it actually starts hurting enough to get off it. I tend to stay in a job role a lot longer than I should. I sometimes have friendships a lot longer than I should. And this comes down to not setting my boundaries early on. And when I say boundaries, I mean learning what it is that you will accept. What behaviour will you accept around any type of relationship, whether that's work, whether that's personal relationship, family. What is it that you will actually accept? What behaviour is unacceptable to you? And when you understand that for yourself, then that boundary should be made pretty clear early on. Now, communication is a massive factor for why we have most arguments, most wars, the communication breakdown. And it's really important to try and communicate with somebody if you're in that scenario where you feel that something isn't quite right in that relationship, especially if you can feel yourself feeling anxious, feeling like you are sat on the nail. Even if you feel that it's not hurting enough yet to get off, as soon as you realise you're sat on that nail, that's when you should pay attention to: what are my boundaries? What will I accept? What behaviour won't I accept? I'm not saying if something isn't right, leave. I'm not saying leave your relationship, leave your job. That is not what I'm saying. But it's really important to identify when things aren't going quite right and to make a positive change. Now, this will mean some communication. It will have to be highlighted. You can't even just saying to somebody, "I don't appreciate that," or "Please, can we talk about this further? I don't understand your decision. Please, can you explain your decision? Why is this happening?" Finding out a little bit more from that person. So if you are asked, for example, in a job to do something that you don't really agree with, and doing that job will go outside your own core values, or you you just know it's wrong, instead of saying, no, I'm not doing that because that's not what I'm saying you to do, is to break that down a little bit and ask that person, can you please explain to me why you're asking me to do that? What is the purpose of this? How is it going to help the company or the organisation if I do this? Just find out a little bit more, because sometimes there can be a misunderstanding there or a miscommunication, and you may not have been asked to do what you think you've been asked to do, or you might understand more why you've been asked to do what you've been asked to do, and you might end up agreeing with it. So it's important to have that communication, set your boundaries very early on, especially in any new job role. So if you're relating to this at the moment, if you are in some kind of relationship where you are not feeling empowered, you're not feeling trusted, and you're thinking about, how do I identify what is happening and how do I move forward and how do I address this? We may not be in a position where we can just say, I've had enough of this job and leave. If you are in that position and you're not happy and you've tried mediation and you've tried to communicate and you're just not getting anywhere and you are feeling anxious and you are fed up with it, sometimes it may be better to leave the job if you can financially support yourself and then look for another. It's always important, if you are not getting past the mediation stage, you are not being able to communicate, you are stressed, you're anxious, it's always important to have a plan to leave if that is where you are and you've tried everything. Let's face it, stress can be a killer, can't it? What starts off as a bit of anxiousness can spiral to not being able to eat properly, to have headaches. It can lead to panic attacks, heart problems. There's so much that comes from stress in a negative way that is it worth staying in a position where that's going to happen to you? But if you're not in a position to leave, make sure you have a plan. So if you're not already the CEO of your own life and you like the idea of becoming the CEO of your own life, but you just don't know where to start and what that actually means, being the CEO of your own life is about taking responsibility for where your life is heading. If there's elements of your life that are not going where you want to head, then they're the areas that you need to make positive changes to. And how I would suggest you do that is get a pen and paper, old-fashioned way, and write down what it is you actually want out of life. When you do this, don't hold back, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If it's you go from anything to a big mansion and big flashy sports car. Write down initially. You really want to get that mind, like doing a mind dump on that paper. Write down everything that comes to your mind that you would love to have right now in your life. It can be stuff you've already got. That's fine, because we want to write down where we want to be, and that may include what you've already got. So write down exactly what you want in your life, what your life looks like. That could be what job you have, what people are around you, what type of relationship you've got, what pets you have. Do you travel? Do you go on holiday? Do you own a yacht? Just really brain dump it all out there. Your perfect life that you wish you could have right now, write that down. And when you've done that, I'd like you to take a fresh piece of paper and write down where you are right now. Exactly where you are. What car you drive, what house you live in, what job you've got. What is your presence right now? What do you have in life right now? Who are you around? What's your lifestyle like? What's your environment? And then what I'd like you to do is compare the two. Look at the things that really matter to you where there's gaps or conflicts. So you may go, I'm driving a Ford Fiesta, but I want an Aston Martin, right? You have a conflict there, but is that really important to you right now? And if it is, great, keep that on the list. If it's not, just scrub that out for now. But it's good to know one day you like an Aston Martin, Keep dreaming that, but right now to make these changes, that might not be an important thing. You may not live in the house you want to live in because of your environment. There may be factors around you that's making you unhappy in where you actually live. Look at where you've written you want to live. Is there changes that you can make to allow that to happen? Can you put the wheels in motion? Let's look at the job. Are you in the job that you would dream to be in right now? If you're not, look why. It could be a promotion that you need. Then look at how you're going to make them positive changes to make that promotion happen. Are you in a relationship that doesn't quite match where you want to be right now? Is there things you can talk about with the other person in the relationship or other people in relationships? Can you make things better? Always try to make things better first. But the most important thing is always to have written down, what am I prepared to accept from any relationship in my life? And if you're prepared to accept empowerment and trust, for example, and if you don't have empowerment and trust, they're your boundaries. Otherwise, you're going to continue to sit on that nail no matter what changes you make. When you look over them 2 sheets of paper and you look over the conflicts, take the conflicts away from them 2 pieces of paper and write on a new piece of paper what them conflicts are. And then spread them out so you can write underneath them or have them in 2 columns, whatever you need to do. And when the conflict is there, on one side, for example, and then on the other side or underneath, do some goal setting. Write down what changes you think you need to do to make that happen, and then do some SMART goals. Do some goal setting on each of them individually. Give yourself a timeline, realistic timeline, part of the SMART goal setting process. So how are you going to make them changes? And if you want to know more about goal setting, how to set goals, I have done videos in the past on my channel about this, and I will be doing more videos in the future. I also have a community, the link is in the description, so maybe go over and check that out and see if that's something that you want to be part of. If you are enjoying it, it would be great if you could subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Thank you to all the ones that already have subscribed. I really appreciate you. Give the video a like, and if you've got something from it, maybe share it with someone else because they may get something from it too. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.